a man make mistakes? Is he eligible for redemption? Will it really hurt your spirit to make this one exception? If I did you wrong, am I wrong for doing you wrong? If we get back on and make a promise to get along, would you take me back? My bad, I'm back. Would you take me back? My bad, I'm back.
Hey, what's going on? It's the Big D from the Big D channel. And we got some nice things to talk about today. How y'all feeling? Everybody feeling good? So you know what it is. It's Saturday here in Rio. Some concerts and things going on. I got a house full. Got a girl here, her 2 kids, the dog, the 2 cats. I got her friend, and then it's supposed to be another friend coming. So we got a house full today. So I'm getting my respite here in the studio. So, let's jump in here. Let's see what we got going on today. You know, stories wise or whatever. We got another one that's kind of rearing his head. We had a video about porn and porn addiction, right? So now it seems like we found another situation where there's a porn addiction. What's going on? But I got a different take on it, and I may not be the most right in my viewpoint on it, but we gonna see what's going on. So this one comes from the divorce Reddit, kind of not safe for work area. So you know, hide your kids. Husband's porn addiction ruined our marriage. All right. I'm so fed up with someone that won't change or admit they have issues. My husband has a serious issue with porn. I walk by a bathroom and can hear him masturbating. My man is going in. Damn. He spends 30 to 45 minutes in the shower in the morning masturbating. He used to work from home as I did, and I would regularly hear him masturbating multiple times a day. Since he was busy doing that, he brought in little income. He is self-employed. For the last several years, he will not initiate sex with me. When we were intimate, he cannot get hard for normal intercourse. He still only wants to masturbate. I have no issues with people watching porn. I'm no prude, but I've had enough. I took a peek at his computer and found a file that contained pictures of our friends, their college-age daughters, and regular porn. He had taken our friends' pictures and created duplicate pictures that were zoomed in on their ass. They were all dressed. He even had a picture of a past teacher for our kids that he was viewing. This lady was very mean to one of our children, too. I tried to talk to him about it, and he refuses. If we do talk, he says it's my fault for previously turning him down. We had young kids. I worked and cleaned the house. Things are different now, and I want some attention. I'm incredibly disturbed by him using our friends' pictures. I can't handle that, so we're going forward with a divorce. I still love him and want good things for him. How do I make him see he has a problem? And is there still any way we could save our marriage? I'm also curious to see if other people use friends' pictures to masturbate. Why would that appeal to someone? Any advice is greatly appreciated. Okay, this one got a little bit disturbing quite quick. Quite quickly, right? Man, oh man, oh man, there's a lot going on here, right? So I see 2 things going on. So I'm not going to go in on just one or the other. We're going to go in on both, right? So the husband definitely has an issue, right? Isn't an issue just with porn? I don't know if we would call it a porn addiction. I know that she said he had pictures or whatever like that, but he's talking about people that are fully clothed, right? She's saying that he's got pictures of people actually clothed. All right. Now he's taking it and turning it into something else by zooming in on the booties and all that. But so maybe he's got some type of sexual addiction, or he has a hypersexuality going on. And he's just meeting the need that way. That's what it sounds like, but it sounds like it's taking over his existence and his mind. So I don't know, maybe I'm not a doctor, but maybe it's like dopamine or whatever that's being released. That, I mean, that ain't the only thing being released, but dopamine is being released into his system, and maybe he loves that the feel of that dopamine. And maybe it's something that he's kind of become addicted to, just getting that feeling. For him to spend 30 to 45 minutes in the shower like every morning, that's crazy, right? And then her being able to walk by the bathroom and hear him is even wilder. And then him working from home, right? I mean, that kind of maybe triggered him to have time to just, be there and do what he does. I guess, I think she said she was working from home too. So the fact that he would do that while she's there, you have a whole woman here that you're married to or whatever you can have sexual intercourse with, kind of throws me off a little bit. That kind of disturbs me a little bit, because it's like, why are you seeking this and not the woman who's right here? That's so I don't know, like, yeah, it's just, he can't become intimate with her. She says when they are intimate, he can't even have an erection to have normal intercourse with her. So, I have a different kind of take on it, right? He's got definitely some sexual deviance or some type of sexual hang up that he's dealing with the fact that he just is experiencing the need for this all the time, right? There are people with lots of addictions, right? It's like somebody smoking a cigarette or something. It's like they just light one up and light one up and light one up. They're just going to continue to do that because they're getting something from it, right? So I think that's what's going on with him here. But I tend to say this is not all his fault either. Now, he's definitely got some issues, but I'm going to say it's not all his fault. You know why? Because he's refusing to have intercourse with her or whatever. He's not, talking about the situation a whole lot. And when they do talk, he says it's my fault for previously turning him down. And then she makes the excuse for why she was turning him down. Oh, I had kids and I have a job and I clean the house. Well, you signed up for the partnership with this man. You signed up to be married to this man forever, fidelity with this man. And so he cannot go out into the streets and into the bars or whatever and seek someone out to have intercourse with, right? He signed up to have intercourse with you. You're his partner. You're supposed to be the partner with him. But you trained him to not have sex with you. Right? He was asking and you told him, and you kept refusing him, and you're telling him no. How long? My question to this, I did reply to this particular one, and I said, how long was the marriage sexless? Because kids take a long time to kind of grow up, right? They take some years to grow up. And your work wasn't going to go away. And your house cleaning is not going to go away. That lasts for a lifetime. So my idea is, like, why did you decide that you're not going to fulfill this part of the partnership? Because you're tired? Okay, I get it. Oh, I'm tired. But how long were you tired? Like, you tired for years and years and years and years. You never had holidays. You never had, other times where you can make up for it or whatever. No one's that tired. I'm sorry. They're just not that tired. Right? So I feel like she contributed to the problem. I think she trained him not to be able to have sex. And that kind of can work on a person's mind too, depending on how he processed that. Right? Like, oh, like, I'm trapped in this situation with this woman and she's not going to give me what I need. And now I have to find a way to get what I need. And I can't go outside. My options are now limited to her. And she's decided that she's not going to participate. I don't know how she thought that was going to work. You signed up to be a partner, and then once you got the partnership, you decided you're not going to do parts of the things in a partnership. And I feel like she's not exactly wanting intimacy or wanting to be close to him. Because she says, well, things are different now and I want some attention. What's different? The only thing that might be different is that your kids might be just a little bit older. But you're still working. You still got to clean the house. So what things are different? Maybe your attention now is not on the kids. Maybe you got, away from that a little bit. And now you have the ability to focus. You don't have to focus attention on them. And now what you're focusing now is where his attention is. And now that he's got something else to fulfill what he needs, now all of a sudden you want the attention. When he was giving you attention, you didn't want to give it to him. You didn't want to return, didn't want to reciprocate when he was willing to give you the attention. And so you trained him not to want to be intimate with you. He hasn't been intimate with you, obviously. Like it's not really that great. He doesn't even get excited by you anymore because you turned him off. So I'm just like, listen, you're a woman. This is how we work as men. We're very logical. We're very much kind of like A to B to C. We don't go all the way around and all this other stuff or whatever and extrapolate all these other things and add the one and go over here and if I had pizza on Tuesday, then that's in there too. And then if I have a chocolate birthday cake, then that's different because if I had the rainbow birthday cake, then that would mean that the sex will be better. Like we don't do all that. We do like, do you want to have sex? Yes or no? And each one of those has its path. That's what we do. And if we keep going there and the answer keeps being no, 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 eventually in our mind, we're like, I'm going to stop asking. I don't know why that might be hard to understand, but I'm a man. So, maybe for women, it just is different. Maybe they just think differently. But all I'm saying is that's how we think. So, I mean, I have a perfect example. When I was first married or whatever like that, it was like, I was happy with my wife or whatever like that. I'd, roll up on her, whatever, come home from work or whatever, roll up on her, whatever, in the kitchen or whatever like that and touch her, in an intimate way or whatever, or, get next to her or whatever like that and just give her that, little bit of loving, whatever, nothing overt, not trying to have sex with her or anything like that, just being passionate with her in a certain way. And the way that she would kind of like pull away sometimes, and then she literally told me to stop. And so I did. 15 years later, when we were getting divorced or whatever, she brought it up. Oh, when we first got married, you used to do this and used to do that or whatever, and you stopped. I said, do you remember when you told me not to do it? And she didn't say anything. This is what you asked for. So I gave you what you asked for, and now 15 years later, you're bringing it up as an excuse for you to cheat and you to do everything else. Like, this is what you asked for. So as women, you cannot tell a man that you don't want him to be intimate with you. You can only tell him that so many times. And what is he going to do? He's going to walk away and find some other way. That's got to compute for you guys. I don't understand why it wouldn't compute for you. So you can make all the excuses. Oh, I got kids and I got this and I got that. He's working. He had things to do too. You got time. If he said, hey, let's go to the mall, I'm going to spend $1,000 or $10,000 to go, buy you clothes and shoes and stuff, you would have had time. You have time for the things that you want to have time for, right? So don't be using the excuse, oh, I'm tired and this, that, and the other, because if it's something that was beneficial to you and you found it beneficial to you, you would make time. You don't think that the man is beneficial to you or that sex is beneficial to you in any way, so you're going to deny him that. And this is what type of stuff that you end up with. And you got to see the number of women that were commenting below this. Oh, I had that too. Oh, I had this situation too. I had this situation too. I'd like to know how many of them were in sexless marriages where they were like, they didn't want to have sex. I did see one on there where she was like, yo, like she had a normal, healthy view of sex and she wanted it or whatever, and he couldn't perform or whatever like that. I mean, it happens too. I'm not saying it's all one way. All I'm saying is sometimes you contribute to the things that you don't want. And you can't go around making excuses for why you don't want intimacy, and then when he finds a different way, be super upset with him that he's acting out in a different way. He had the natural way to act out, and you took that from him. Right? You took it from him. And now you want to be the center of attention. And I think that's really what it is with her. I don't even think that she even wants to be intimate with him. She just realizes that he's being intimate in a different way, and he's seeing other women as sexual objects or whatever. He's not looking at her like that. And so she's like, oh, look at me, look at me. Come on now. Now, homeboy, I'm going to say you need to get some help. You talk to a therapist, you need to talk to somebody who can help you navigate why you're doing this activity. And I would start by healing by getting rid of the pictures. Get rid of the pictures, video, whatever you got, and especially the people that you know, because that's not safe. I don't think that's safe. I don't think that's good. So I think he needs to get rid of all of that stuff to begin with. Delete it, get rid of it or whatever, and don't go back to that practice. But, I don't think anybody's always too far gone, but I feel like this is something that has been cultivated over years, and I think he's got to kind of deal with it with some professional help. Because, I think that's ridiculous, be in the bathroom 30, 45 minutes doing that or whatever, to the point where you're not even, she says you're not working as much and things like that. And then you got the opportunity to work from home, and now that's not helping you. Maybe you need to change where you're working at. Maybe you need to work more in a public setting with people around or something. I don't know. But do whatever you need to do to kind of heal yourself. Because this is not normal. This is not natural what you're doing and the way that you're acting out. So yeah, I went in a little bit on her, but we're going to go in on you too. Same thing. You got to go take care of yourself. You got to take care of your issue and whatever problem that you're experiencing if you want to keep your marriage. Well, the big D is coming. I think she's just going to jump out of the marriage and say it was all his fault, right? The divorce is coming. So, and then that might drive him into more depression and drive him into other things or whatever. He's probably just going to get worse. So I think that he needs to start figuring out how to, handle this. It says we had young kids or whatever. So maybe the kids are older now, whatever. And, the kids, they're going to be important too. How can you help the kids when you're not able to help yourself? How can you help them with the things that they're going to go through? They're going to be young adults probably and all that stuff, going through a lot of things and need to have healthy conversations about sex and masturbation and porn and all these things that you as the adult need to kind of teach them. How can you teach them if you're out of control? You got to control yourself and learn how to, come off of this addiction. Because at this point, it looks like it's probably an addiction. I think it was fueled by, somewhat by her not giving him any attention, but it's not all her fault. This is something that he probably was dealing with even before they met. So that's the question. That's the thing I don't know is like, what was he doing before you guys met? Probably was something that was there, before you met. And what was the sexual situation like when you did meet? Were you having any intercourse and things like that? Was it a lot more frequent? Was it often? Was he expecting like this is going to continue? I talked about this in one of the other videos. Like There are women and there are people that will utilize that. Men too. I'm not going to say women. That's an error. There are men too that are the same way. They will do what they have to do to get you, but they won't do what they need to do to keep you. So they'll fool you into thinking like, oh, this is how it's going to be. Like they're going to be intimate with me all the time. Whatever, we're going to have sex 3 or 4 times. We're going to do it in the car. We're going to do it at the beach. We're going to do it, in the hot tub. We're going to be doing it everywhere. And then as soon as they get married, they've got you. They've kind of trapped you into it. And now all of that stuff goes out the window. And then it's, oh, I work a lot. Oh, I got a headache. Oh, I'm sick. Oh, I can't. Then they got all the excuses after they trapped you. And I think it's wrong to trap a person like that. So if you're not really like that, if you ain't freaky like that, or you ain't sexually, driven like that, don't pretend that you are, because you're going to trap a person that is expecting that type of activity. And then you're going to pull away from them. It's not fair to them to be aligned with somebody who's not aligned with them. Growing up does not mean that you have less sex. And I think there's a lot of people who equate that as like, oh, well, we're older now. No, it doesn't mean that. And they be like 30. It's like, nah, man, like, hold up. You should still be having a natural, desire for sex or desire for your partner. You should still have that. So I don't know, I feel like he definitely needs some help, right? So let's move on from here. We're going to go to Mammoth Push in the Divorced Men Reddit. Mammoth Push 2612, right? Says, feel trapped. I've been married for almost 15 years. We have a 10-year-old son. This has been a very toxic marriage. My wife is controlling and dominating and has gradually cut me off from my family and friends. Huge red flag. She doesn't get along with anyone. She has no friends of her own. She finds fault in my parents, my brother, and all my friends, tries to restrict my son from having contact with my parents, finds reasons to pick fights, and if there is anything that makes me happy, she'll try to ruin it. Finds fault in everything I do, blames me for her own mistakes. Today, every day is stressful, and I'm living like her puppet. I have to ask her permission even to go out to the shops. She does not let me take our son along with me. She is possessive of our child and keeps saying that mothers are more important than fathers. I constantly live in fear that she may erupt and we will end up having a major fight. It's so stressful. I'm stuck in this marriage only because of our child. I do not want to destroy his life. I have had the hope that things would improve and we would all live happily. However, now this hope is faded. I've tried hard for the past 10 years. However, I feel that I'm at square one. I want to leave, but I'm scared of the consequences. I'm worried about my son and how his life will turn upside down if I left. I feel helpless. There is no one I can discuss this with. Well, you can discuss it with us because we here, right? 15 years of marriage with this person. I just wonder what the discussions were like before you got married. Like, what were the discussions like, about raising a family and what the ideals are and how she wants to raise her child and all that. If she's the kind of person who's is controlling and who doesn't want you even around your own parents and your own family, that's something wrong there. I don't think that just developed after the marriage or whatever. I think that probably would have been present when you were dating the person. But, I know how it is. I know when I was dating my ex-wife, I wasn't close to my family because I lived in a whole different state or whatever. I wasn't close to her family. They lived in a different state. So I could see where this could go down like this. Where maybe you didn't realize that until you maybe got married and now the family's involved and you need to go there for holidays and you need to, hang out with them for birthdays and stuff like that. I could see where this could kind of actually happen where you didn't really get the full ability to see it. But I think that's a thing that we got to probably start normalizing again, is having the person that we're wanting to be with or thinking that we're going to spend the rest of our lives with. I think we got to try to start having interaction with our family with them. right? Bring them around your family, bring them around your friends, bring your friends around, all that kind of stuff, and see what their reaction is and how they move. Now, like we said, there are some people that will trap you. There are people that will pretend like everything's all good or whatever, and then when you get married to them, then all of a sudden they break out all this other stuff. I don't think that's fair to anybody. I think you should present yourself as you are. So, she's got some real issues. I think maybe she's got some social issues or antisocial situations or whatever situations going on with her, because she just finds fault with everyone. If she's picking fights with with her husband or whatever, she don't want her son to even have contact with his grandparents. That could be. I could see if there are reasons of like abuse or something that was going on in the past, or maybe this guy was abused or whatever, and maybe the parents were exhibiting behaviors or certain things that they don't want their child around. We all have those things, but I feel it just from the way that it's shaping out here and what he's writing, and we're only seeing his one side, so I can only comment from this side, is like it just seems like she's got the issue. She's maybe got some antisocial issues going on. And maybe she tends to make up stories in her head. I can be guilty of that too sometimes, where it's like I can start thinking of scenarios and stuff like that, and it almost becomes real, and it's like that didn't even happen. So maybe she comes up with scenarios in her head like, oh, if I send my son here, this is what's going to happen or whatever, and it just becomes real to her, and so she keeps the son home. And that's not cool, because the son needs to have contact with his grandparents and stuff like that, right? So just to have healthy relationships. Maybe she's coming from a background where she didn't see those healthy relationships. Maybe she's super protective of him because something happened in her life where she wasn't protected. And maybe she doesn't like people for that reason too, because maybe people have betrayed her. Maybe people have done things to her or been dishonest with her, or whatever. And maybe she just feels like, I don't like people. I go through things. I see things every day that make me be like, man, I don't like people. So I'll be like, man, what is wrong with people? What is wrong with them? Like, what is really going on? Like, now it just seems like it's worse every day. And I think with social media, we get to see everything, and it's like, you understand why people don't like people. But I think she's got something a little different going on here. He says that he's got to ask her permission to go out to the shops. Why are you as a grown man asking permission to go out? And then you can't. What do you mean you can't take your son with you? You gotta go a set of nuts, bro. I think you've trained her to have that control over you, and now to try to break that is going to be kind of hard. Because I think, like he said, you might end up having a major fight. But I think the major fight has to happen if you're going to get through this. Unfortunately, you're going to have something happen that's going to be stressful. And that's going to be tough to go through in order to break that. But I wish somebody would tell me I can't go somewhere with my son. I wish you would. Or I can't leave my house and go to a shop. I can't go shopping. If I want to go, I got to ask you permission to leave my house. Who's paying the bills? I don't see who's paying the bills here, but at the same time, you're still a man of your house. You need to be a man. I got to ask permission to leave your house to go to the shops. You get up and you go. Man, come on. I can't even, listen. I'm not asking permission for nothing. Not in my house. This is your house. Man, you better get tight with that. I ain't gonna say too much, but you need to tighten up. But he's saying that he's stuck in a marriage only because of the child, and you don't want to destroy his life. Well, she's gonna destroy it anyway. It's on a path of destruction because he's not gonna be around anybody but her. He's gonna learn his social skills from her. He's not gonna know how to be around his family. What if you die? What if something happens to you and you die? What chance does he have? So you got to get in there and make sure that he has social skills, that he can deal with people, because she's going to raise him in a way where he can't deal with people. And you can't let her corral him from that. You need to put your foot down, tell her you're taking him to see his grandparents, and there's nothing that she can say about it. Stay home, cry, whatever it is that you need to do or whatever. Break everything in the house if you need to or whatever, but my son needs to go see his parents, his grandparents. Do what you need to do. Get it out your system, because this is not the way this is going to go down. So he's scared of the consequences. You scared of her. You scared of the consequences. Scared of what's going to happen to the son. Why you scared? You're not helpless. Stand up on your own too. Get up and be a man. She doesn't think you a man because she thinks she can run over you. She thinks that she could just do whatever she wants, say whatever she wants, and there's nothing you can do. So you got to figure out what you are. A man, or are you going to take care of business? Say, listen, my son is not going to grow up like this. He needs interaction, social interactions. He's going to school, all that kind of stuff, or whatever. He needs social interaction. He needs to know how to deal with people. He needs to know who his family is. He can't just stick around you, because if something happens to you, then he's going to be stuck. He's not going to know what to do. He's probably going to go through a lot of depression and things like that. Just losing a mother would be depressing enough. But imagine being that attached. So you as a man got to put your foot down in that situation. It might be too late just because of how long it's probably been. It's probably been like, it's been like this like 10 years. You trained her to train you to be weak. And so I think that a lot of men, as men, we kind of tend to do that, right? Because we're brought up and we're taught that she's delicate and you need to have love for her and compassion and tap into your feelings so that you can understand her feelings. But at a certain level, you forget to be a man at the same time. Don't forget to be a man at the same time. It's your house. It runs the way that you decided that it should run. And if you're not comfortable in your house, it's because you have made it uncomfortable for yourself. So we got to get right to that. Listen, pressure make diamonds. So you've gotten to a situation where now you got to make the diamond, and it's going to take a lot of pressure. Right? So, but make the diamond, because your son is going to thank you for it later on. He's going to suffer. He's going to suffer if he just has her. Who's teaching him how to be a man? He's watching his mother dominate his father. You got to ask permission to go to the store. Man, you gotta be out of your damn mind. Asking permission to go to the store. Boy, if you don't put a belt on and pull your pants up or whatever and be a man, we can't help you with that. All we can tell you is what you need to do. So I'm gonna jump out of here. I think we've been going on, man. We about 30 minutes already, but I'm liking this, man. I like this setup or whatever. I like what's going on or whatever. So we getting into it. Comment, like, subscribe. You know what it is. It's your boy, the Big D, for the Big D Show. Take it easy. Peace.
Can a man make mistakes? Is he eligible for redemption? Will it really hurt your spirit to make this one exception? If I did you wrong, am I wrong for doing you wrong? If we get back on and make a promise to get along, would you take me back? My bad, I'm back. Would you take me back? My bad, I'm back.